And it goes back to this. Kirk Herbstreit. Why are you giving this any attention? Did you forget, or do you forget when you're on Twitter, you're a multi-gazillionaire and you're Kirk Herbstreit? Because I have genuinely felt bad for Evan Stewart these past couple of years at A&M. He hasn't had a reliable quarterback throwing him the football. Now, you got to take into account a main reason for that too is some injuries at the quarterback position. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas from no other than the man, the myth, the legend himself. Why, Randy. Alright, let me calm down and lock in. On a serious note, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope all of you having a great winter break, and if you are spending some of your winter break watching this video, I greatly appreciate you. Kick back, relax, get nice and warm and cozy by the fireplace, because we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and a lot of interesting stuff to talk about at that. And by the way, let me know in the comment section. I'm really curious, because I'm going to try to watch one tonight. What is your favorite Christmas movie? I've watched a couple last night. I watched Home Alone 2. I love that one. You can't go wrong with Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2. And I've yet to watch the legendary National Lampoon's Christmas. I mean, come on now. That's easily in the top 5. Clark Griswold, he's the GOAT of hanging up Christmas lights. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm getting a little sidetracked here. Let me know your favorite Christmas movie, but also let me know a recommendation in the comment section for me to watch tonight. I like all of them, man. Jack Frost, that's a good one. The Santa Clauses, those are the OGs, and I could go on and on. But that's besides the point. Let's lock in, let's get down to business, and talk about some college football. I've been following this situation closely for not just the past couple of days, but the past month or so. Arguably one of the best wide receivers in the entire nation. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Evan Stewart, he finally entered the portal. I saw this coming from a mile away. I even talked about him entering the portal 3 weeks ago, and I stated Alabama was going to be in the front running for him because they recruited him heavy when he was in high school. Well, now it's official. He's in the portal, and he's starting to shake some things up. We're going to talk all about that, but also, guess what? The backup quarterback for Texas, Malik Murphy, he's already announced where he's going. It seemed like it was only a couple days ago when he entered the portal, and now he's already found a new school. And the third topic we had to talk about is yet again, and I thought about making a separate video about this, but I was like, nah, it's not that big of a deal. Kirk Herbstreit, he's back at it with the trolls. I'm just shaking my head, even thinking about it. Kirk Herbstreit, you gotta let this stuff go, man. You are too good to be going back and forth with randoms on Twitter, okay? It's as simple as that. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a second, and as most of you know, we're trying to hit 310,000 subscribers before a new year, and we're now officially less than 1,000 away. You know what to do. If you like the college football content, consider joining our community. If you don't want to join, that's cool too, but all right, Matt, blah, 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 shit, the crap out, out of it, do. Let's get into it. No, hold on. What is this comment I just stumbled across? This is from Aiden on the recent video. Always love watching your vids, Matt. You always do a great job breaking down everything and explaining both sides, and try your best not to be biased while managing to keep them super entertaining. Keep up the good work. Hashtag Matt be lurking in parking garages. I can't even act mad about it. That's just funny, okay? What? How do you even come up with a hashtag that long and that creative? I just gotta clap it up. That's one of the best hashtags I've ever seen. All right, you know what? No more comments. That's how we start off a video right there. That's how we started off. And by the way, thank you for the kind words. And hey, man, I'm just glad you enjoy the videos as much as I enjoy making them. It has been nothing short of a blast being a part of this college football community, and I'm just very appreciative. Let's continue along, though, and let's just get this out of the way. I don't want to speak about it too much. I made a 10-minute video about this. When was it? About a week and a half ago, about Kirk Herbstreit going on a complete rant and tangent and losing his mind over the Twitter trolls. And now he has pretty much done it again. Someone replied to one of his tweets, yet again, with all due respect, a random on Twitter, and said, any comments on that Seattle win the other night? Amazing that a backup quarterback could win a big game like that. I guess that is only embraced in the NFL. Referring to Florida State. Kirk Herbstreit wound up quote tweeting it. He shouldn't have gave it any attention, but I'll get to that in just a second, and said this. Yeah, Drew Lock played really well. Huge win for the Seahawks. Kept their playoff hopes alive. Incredible to see what a solid backup can do for team's chances. Or do for a team's chances, but you get what I'm trying to say. And yet again, I will defend Kirk Herbstreit. What he said here is right. It's just different comparing college to the NFL. And more so of it's different trying to compare Brock Glenn and Tate freaking Rodemaker to Drew Lock. I even talked about this. In the NFL, it's different. Backup quarterbacks are pretty dang good at football. They're in the NFL. There's only 32 jobs in the NFL to be a starting quarterback. And if you're QB2, you are technically one of the best 64 quarterbacks in the world. Think about that. So yes, of course, a team with a backup quarterback in the NFL. Remember when the Eagles, they won the championship when Carson Wentz went out and Nick Foles came in? Of course, it's a different conversation than Brock Glenn and Tate Rodemaker. There will be some drop-off depending on who the backup is and who the starter is, but more times than not, it's not a mega drop-off in the NFL when the backup comes in. Whereas at the collegiate level, a quarterback is everything. I've said it with Alabama this year. As great as Alabama is, and as many 4- and 5-star recruits they have on the offense and defensive side of the ball, Alabama can and will only go as far as Jalen Milroe can take them. Vice versa, if Milroe wouldn't have played good this year, Alabama could have easily lost 4 or 5 games. The quarterback position in the collegiate level is just that important because your backups aren't near as good as the starters more times than not. But anyways here, going back to Kirk Herbstreit and the Twitter trolls, someone responded, "Good Lord, you were tone deaf." And yet again, Kirk Herbstreit responded, he quote tweeted and said, "Wrong." And it goes back to this, Kirk Herbstreit, why are you giving this any attention? Did you forget, or do you forget when you're on Twitter, you're a multi-gazillionaire and you're Kirk Herbstreit? Maybe I'm old school, but to me, I've always thought responding to stuff like this and trying to validate yourself, that's a sign of insecurity. I don't want to make this about me, but myself is a good comparison because I also cover college football. And I have a way harder and way more controversial takes than Kirk Herbstreit. And when have you ever seen me not just go back and forth, because I've never done that, but when have you ever seen me respond to a Twitter troll or somebody in the YouTube comment section? Never. You've never seen it. What we do is, yes, you guys know this. I'll read off a bunch of your guys' comments, but there's no going back and forth. None of that. I'm going to say this. We got to get a move on. I do apologize for the rant and tangent. I didn't want to talk about it this much. Kirk Herbstreit, you have way too many people that love you to be focusing on the negative people, and I'll leave it at that. 99% of the people in the college football world, they love you, they love your takes, love everything about you, and 1%, they don't like you. Quit responding to the 1%. Moving along here to our second topic, and since I rambled on so much on the first topic, let's just zoom through this. The breaking news came out yesterday that Malik Murphy, Texas transfer, he's going to Duke. I don't want to say this shocked me because I really didn't know where he was going to wind up going, but I think overall this is a pretty good fit. And the reason I label it as a good fit is because I don't expect Malik Murphy to light the world on fire next year. No. Just like this year, he had his ups and he's going to have his downs, and I think Duke is a perfect program for that. As long as he goes out there and wins 8 or 9 games, I think that fan base is going to be pretty happy. I wish more 4- and 5-star recruits would do this. Go to a school like Duke right away because you know the expectations aren't as high. Think about it. At schools like Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia, if you're the starting quarterback and have 1 game, everybody's wanting you to be benched. Remember what happened with Milroe earlier in the season? He did get benched. Milroe had 1 bad game, and it was like, all right, that's it. He's done. And think about this. This is the whole butterfly effect. Imagine if Tyler Buckner against USF would have went out there and balled out. He would have been the starting quarterback the rest of the season. Whereas for Malik Murphy at Duke, he could have 2 straight bad games open the year. More than likely, he'll still be the starter. I can't wait to see what he does because that dude's got a lot of potential and a lot of talent. Whether he taps into it or not, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I could talk about that all day, but we had to get a move on to the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. What in the world is going on with Evan Stewart? I guess I'll start by showing you this. 3 days ago, he entered the portal, and I wound up quote tweeting and saying this. Evan Stewart, ... welcome to Alabama. I have been calling this for, probably the past 5 or 6 months. Not calling this, but just saying, hey, Evan Stewart, he's going to enter the portal, and I expect Alabama to be in the running for him. Because I have genuinely felt bad for Evan Stewart these past couple of years at A&M. He hasn't had a reliable quarterback throwing him the football. Now, you got to take into account a main reason for that, too, is some injuries at the quarterback position. But whether there's injuries or not, the bottom line is he's not even having close to a season he could have if he was at a program like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, USC, Texas, somewhere that would utilize him correctly. And why the crap did I throw USC in there? I need to quit throwing USC in the conversation with the big boys. I do apologize for that, but I'm curious. Let me pull up Evan Stewart's stats just to give you perspective. And I need a perspective because I don't know. Wait, I think off the top of my head, he had like 30 catches this year. Yeah, it was really disappointing. And yet again, as I'm pulling him up here, I'm going to throw this in there. It only looks bad because not anything he did, it's just a quarterback situation. They can't get him the ball. Okay, I was wrong. He had 38 catches. But in 2022, you see 53 catches, 650 yards, 2 touchdowns. This year, 38 catches, so that was a drop-off, 500 yards and 4 tutties. This right here is one of the rare occasions where numbers, they don't tell you the complete story. Because if you just looked at the box score and never watched any of A&M's games, you'd say, oh yeah, Evan Stewart, he's probably a decent wide receiver, but nah, dude, this guy is elite. He's not great. He's not really great. He's elite. I talked to a source late last night, not one of my credible big-time sources, but he hit me up, and He told me he believes that right here, Evan Stewart, he's going to be going to Texas, which does make complete sense. You should understand why. I'm not going to explain it. I believe Texas has a great shot of landing him, especially with them coming to the SEC this year. That helps them out probably like 30 or 40% more. Because you got to get the sense and vibe that Evan Stewart, he wants to play in the best conference, and if Texas would have been remaining in the Big 12, that might have hurt him a little bit. But now with Texas coming to the SEC, this is a two-team race. It's 1A, 1B, Alabama and Texas, and to be honest, I don't think he can go wrong with either one. Texas is in the playoff. Alabama is in the playoff. The future for Texas looks bright. The future for Alabama, well, they got Nick Saban, self-explanatory. Quarterback situation, Quinn Ewers, he's coming back next year for Texas. Alabama, they have Jalen Milroe coming back. It's 1A, 1B. It's going to come down to this. Who does he like more? That's all there is to it. My gut is telling me right now, though, Alabama has the slightest, I mean the slightest of the edges. I would say right now it's 51% Alabama, 49% Texas. That's how close it is, just due to the fact that Alabama is losing Jermaine Burton. Evan Stewart is the kind of guy that Nick Saban's going to say, look, we're losing Burton, and you could easily be wide receiver 1 next year. And Jalen Milroe loves to throw the deep ball. And another argument that Nick Saban and Alabama is going to use is this right here. Jamison Williams and Jermaine Burton. Alabama has done a magnificent job in the transfer portal of getting a key wide receiver. Like I said, they did with Williams and most recently done with Jermaine Burton. And now it's like, all right, well, Jermaine Burton's leaving, so it's time for the next one. Man, Evan Stewart could be the next one. You never know. And to me, it doesn't matter, but I think wherever he goes, Texas or Alabama, he's easily going to be a receiver that could have 1,400 to 1,500 yards. I know that seems like a lot, but guys, I think he's that good. This is definitely something to keep your eyes on, and I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. But